So there hasn't been a ton of updates from the N8N team on what the new software is actually like. Is this going to be a massive overhaul, or is this going to feel like a yearly Photoshop update with minimal changes? We knew there'd be a new UI, autosave, and change it to the execute Subworkflow node as well as the Python code node, but surprises were hinted at in the initial announcement, and surprisingly, they were never leaked. I've been waiting patiently for a while for any news and got ready to record this video at 5 a.m. today just to find out V2 wasn't ready until this afternoon. Well, about an hour ago, it was finally released to cloud users. This video will walk you through how to update your cloud account to version 2 and showcase all the brand new features that come with it. Really quick though, before we do that, if you guys would like to join my free school community, is linked down below. I put a lot of the different JSON workflows from these videos in there, as well as we have weekly live calls that you could join in and learn new skill sets. So we have 300 members. Would love to have you part of that group. With that being said, let me show you how you can start working with N8N V2. All right, so a few things that we're gonna have to take a look at first. So I just logged in directly into my N8N cloud instance, and you'll see that we have over here, what's new, one version behind. So this will tell us that there's a brand new update on N8N. If you click on update, it'll take you to this admin panel over here. And we'll update this here in a second. However, what I want to do first is show you what workflows are going to be impacted, because I feel like a lot of people skip over that. And the way that you do that is you click on your logo and you go into settings. Then we want to go into is our migration report. And in here, it'll tell you all about all your workflow issues. For me, my biggest issue is going to be that code node. So they're changing how Python operates within N8N, and you can see that there's 14 workflows that are going to be impacted. So what's interesting is you can actually click on these workflows and you can see the name associated with the workflow, the status, if it's an active workflow or if it's deactivated, the nodes affected, which for being Python, most of these are going to be the code node as well. And the number of executions for those specific workflows, when it was last executed, and a lot of these are tutorials that I built for the channel, so I'm not super concerned about it, as well as when it was last updated. The same thing can happen as well for subworkflows, because a lot of the subworkflow logic has changed. In fact, I'm going to be making a full video talking about this tomorrow, but you can click over here and see what workflow has been impacted. So highly recommend that you take a look at this first before you update into version 2, just in case you have any critical workflows that have to run every single day. If that's the case, obviously spend a little bit of time, make sure it works in version 2. If you don't have enough time to convert everything over and really test it, I just wouldn't update right now. And I believe the N8N team says there's 3 months of updates still available to version 1. Before they completely turn that off and make everyone go into version 2, if I remember correctly. But regardless, take a look at this, see if you have a major impact or not. You're going to have to fix these workflows if you do. All right, so next side of it. So remember how I mentioned to go over to the update section. So if I go back over here, we'll click on this and it says update. All this did is take me into my admin panel over here that looks like this. And what I want you to do is go into manage. And what we're going to do is click on this N8N version. So right now it's at 1.123.2. And then you can see the beta version of 2.0 is officially out. Now, if you need to use 2.0 right now, obviously do that. If you want to wait for the stable release, N8N said it will be out in approximately a week. So maybe you want to wait for that. Again, I use cloud for a lot of the YouTube tutorials. So I'm going to go into this latest release. And obviously I'm going to be covering that this week for you guys. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click save changes. So it says major version update. This major version includes breaking changes. Existing workflows may require updates and rollback to previous version isn't supported. So big heads up over here, review the change log for breaking changes. Again, you can take a look at these release notes over here. I mentions how to update N8N as well. And yeah, so we have all this information on that side of things. So I'm going to click update and restart. Hopefully this works. And it says successfully triggered changes. Your workspace is restarting. So I'll let this be here on the screen and we will fast forward when it is ready. And obviously, like, I can't open this instance right now, so it is not ready yet. And it tells you down below running version N8N 2.0. So when it's ready, I'll open that up. All right, so you can see now it says open instance, and this will be my first version taking a look at this, my first time looking at this. Okay, so first thing I notice is none of this has changed over here for our specific workflows. So same exact design. We have workflows, credentials, executions, variables, as well as data tables. And let's go and create a brand new workflow. And again, you can just double check over here. It actually looks like my logo is gone. That is something I've noticed right away. We can expand this sidebar, which we could normally do as well, but you can see my logo is gone down below in the bottom left. And we have all of our settings over here. We just click that. We have our help button. Insights is still there. We have templates still there, as well as the admin panel, which you guys just saw over here. So little minor changes over here so far, but not a ton. And you have personal still, overview, and then shared with you. So what I want to do is just create a brand new workflow, and we'll take a look at that. All right, so we have our brand new workflow over here. And what I'm going to do is set up a very basic workflow. We're going to have a chat trigger that goes into an AI agent. And what I'm going to do is go over here. What triggers this workflow? So one of the things I always do is just kind of click through this to see where nodes are at. So far, this looks like a very similar UI. So we have the trigger manually on an app event, on a schedule, on a webhook call. So again, we have our triggers right away, which that makes sense. So I'm just going to put on a chat message over here. And we now have our UI. So it looks a little bit cleaner than the first version of N8N. And what I'm going to do is go over here. We still have that, add another trigger, and then let's go into the AI tab. So it's interesting. We have AI templates, see what's possible to get started 5 times faster. AI agent right over here. We still have all these other AI nodes over here, which people don't really use. The LM chain, information extractor, Q&A, sentiment, summarization, and text classifier. I'm actually going to click on these because they haven't been updated in a while, and I'm actually curious if they have new updates or not. But we're just going to grab an AI agent, and so you can see the difference over here what the AI agent looks like. We'll put older AI agent on the screen now just to show the comparison. But I really do like this new design change. Super subtle, but I think it's well needed. Let's clicking over here. We still have our structured output format. We still have our fallback model as well. As you can see, we have all these on here. And what's interesting is we have the save workflow. So I'm just going to relabel this. I'll say like N8N V2 test. I'm just going to save that. So it did save a lot faster. We're going to go over here and see if there's any settings for autosave. So we're going to go over here at the 3 dots and click settings. And let's see, estimated time saved, minutes per production, timeout workflow. I don't see anything for autosave over here as of yet. I would have thought that we would have that over here, save successful production, because that was brought up like autosave. So maybe we'll test out some other things as well and see if it automatically saves on that side of things. So what we'll do is check that out here in a second. I'm just going to go over here and remove this enable fallback model and remove also this output just so it looks a little bit cleaner. We're going to add in a chat model. So we'll use the classic chat. We use the classic OpenAI, and I'm going to click on that. I'll go to my OpenAI account. One of the things I really wish was changed is for the model side of things, when you're working with like OpenAI or Claude, I wish really the newest models were populated at the top because 4.1's already pretty old. And, you know, we start here at 4.1 still. It feels like that would have been an easy change, but that's fine. We'll put GPT-5 mini over here. And you can see what this node looks like as well. We'll test this out here in a second. I'll just save that. And again, I don't see any autosaves. Now this is new over here as well. So you used to have the turn on to automatically activate the workflow, but that is gone. Now we have publish over there. Really quick though, before I do this, I want to see these other AI nodes to see if they have any updates, because one of the things I found I was missing with a lot of these is there was no specific way to add in like fallback models and things like that. So let's go to information extractor and we'll double click in here. So we still have these attributes, which is fine, but you can see they haven't been updated. There's no way to add a fallback model. So you can add in a model over here, but it's missing, which is really a shame because a lot of these nodes, they need to have fallback models just in case. So it's one of the ways I talked about in my error video, how to stop errors. Like you need to have fallback models. What happens if OpenAI is down? And these nodes are really good at their specific use cases. You know, they already have specific prompts. They already have all this built out, but they don't have fallback models, which is unfortunate. But what we're going to do is take a look at testing this out. So I'm going to click over here to open chat, and yeah, let's take a look at that. So what I'm going to ask is a very basic question, and we'll see if we get an answer on that side of things. So we're going to say is, how many miles is the Badwater Ultra Marathon in Death Valley? And now you can see we have a brand new animation, and this animation looks really sleek. I really like this quite a bit. And you can see it's still thinking. That's why we have this animation going on. We have the green check marks like we had in the past. And then we have the Badwater Ultra Marathon, or Badwater 135, is 135 miles long, about 217 kilometers. And we have that over there. So I think this animation, way better improvement on the UI side things. I'm really liking that. And this was well needed. Not to say I didn't like the old look, but this looks really nice. So there is that side of it. And again, we don't see anything with autosave. You can still see that's asking me to save this. And yeah, there's no way to autosave it yet. This will remove it. So I thought that was one of the changes that's coming through. Maybe not. What I want to look at now is making a workflow active. So I'm going to click publish, and you'll see it says version name and describe changes. So this reminds me a lot of how you're going to be working with GitHub, for example. So if you're not a developer, no worries. But essentially what you're going to do is have versioning for your software, and you'll describe specific changes on like what's going on. And I'll put like V0 over here, and I'll be like first version of this workflow. And that way you can keep track of like what is changing. Now, I write a lot of SQL code at work as well as Python code, and we store a lot of our SQL code in dbt. So it's kind of the same thing, like, hey, what are you changing on the SQL model? What's the reasoning behind it? And yeah, so I'm just going to get publish over here, and it says workflow publish. You can now make calls to your production chat URL. These executions will not show up immediately in the editor, but you can see them in the execution list if you choose to look at it. So I say got it, and we still have this production checklist, which is on here as well. And you can see it's 0 for 4 right now. So this is kind of cool that it's auto-populated on that side of things. Okay, so there is that. Okay, next thing I want to take a look at, and we're just going to close this out. And I'm also going to unpublish this. No changes to publish. Can I not unpublish this? Oh, so if you want to unpublish this, that's a little bit annoying. You have to click these 3 dots and then click unpublish. So this will prevent all production executions. The prevent over here, that's fine. Unpublish that, and you can see publish is back over here on that side. So that's how you can do that. It's still saved, so we're good there. The next thing I want to take a look at, I'm just going to click hide chat over here. I want to look at a few other bugs that I used to have. So one of the bugs I used to have is this would like go way away. See, I don't think you need to have this much like zoom out. And I've done this on my laptop where I'm looking at a workflow, the trackpad accidentally messes up, and I'm really far away. So that's really unfortunate over there. I want to see if there's any new changes also with sticky notes. Are we still in the same colors? Fonts look very similar. So, okay, same colors. You can't choose a different color over here. I mean, you can change a color, but I meant like from across the spectrum. Other big changes obviously are the code node as well as the execute sub workflows. So I want to take a look at the code node and see what happens now. So what we have over here, if you choose, you have JavaScript or you have Python native. And what we can do is test out that, and I'll test it out in another video, but it looks essentially the same. We just have the native Python in over here. I wonder if there's anything with the documentation. So the native Python option does not support syntax and helpers except for items, unload and items per item. Okay. So loop over input items and add a new field called my new field to the JSON of each one. I like that they throw this example in here. I don't believe this example used to be in over here initially. So major props, because it was a little bit confusing of working with Python for my first time in N8N. And I want to say this is brand new. Okay. Another thing I wanted to take a look at is the execute sub workflow. So we're just going to go over here to execute sub workflow. And again, I'm going to have full videos talking about the new code node updates for Python as well as execute sub workflow. So this video isn't going to fully go into details on that. Like you're gonna have to watch these a little bit later. You can see execute sub workflow, and we can choose our specific workflow. We still remote run with all items and then run once for each item, wait for sub workflow completion. And yeah, so looks very similar to what we had. Obviously the properties on this change a little bit. Again, I'm going to cover this in way more details. All right, and then we're just going to check executions to see if anything has changed over here. Looks, again, very similar on the execution side. Obviously, brand new UI with these nodes. We can still copy this over to the editor. It says execution data imported. You can make edits and re-execute. Once you're done, unpin the first node. Pinning looks exactly the same. You can still edit the data over here. We still have our JSON table as well as schema. Obviously, like, this isn't the best to test those out. We still have our inputs over here as well. And yeah, I mean, this essentially seems like those are the major changes. We still have our search over here, which was really a nice addition. We still have N8N AI. And let's take a look at the workflow history, like without saving. So you can see the version 0 that I saved over here, and then other saves, as well as the specific time log. We'll jump into evaluations tab. Now I don't have evaluations set up over here, and we still have this limit reached. So unfortunately, based off of my account, which I'm using the cheapest plan, it says limit reached. Your plan custom metrics only has one workflow only. So I still got to delete it from that other plan, but it looks like it's very similar to where it was at on the change side of things. Obviously, there's more things I'll be learning about the new version 2. And there's a lot of different changes with security and things like that, and improvements on how fast this runs. And we'll probably cover those in other videos. But next 2 videos, we're going to take a look at the execute sub workflow changes as well as the Python code node. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We have a playlist of well over 60 N8N videos. A lot of the more obscure nodes are going to be in there, as well as different workflows that I've built here in the past. And so if you want to check that out, make sure to do that. Leave your comments down below in the comment section or our school community, and I'll catch you guys in another video.